Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of theresellermindset.com. And for this Reseller Friday, I want to talk to you about a policy update at Poshmark that has many people panicking and talking about how they're getting suspended and all this stuff. And a lot of it is the sky is falling mentality that a lot of resellers have, especially ones that are not very successful. They're always in a panic over any kind of change. So any kind of change scares them and makes them go into a panic. And it's pretty sad and pathetic. But the worst part of it is that they're spreading fear to each other. People are talking about, oh, I'm not going to sell on Poshmark anymore. I can't even control my listings and just all this nonsense. And I know for a fact that the vast majority of these people, maybe all of them that are whining and crying about it, have not even read the actual policy update. The policy update is called excessive listing removal. Now, there have been people claiming, and of course, who knows if this is true or not, but claiming they just removed 2 listings and relisted them and got permanently suspended from Poshmark and all this stuff. That may be true. It could also be those people have been delisting and relisting stuff over and over and over again, and it's a pattern that Poshmark caught up to them, and they're kind of abusing the system. And you got to understand why people are doing this. People do this on eBay, they do this on other sites, but the main idea is that if your item has been listed on a platform for a certain amount of time, it kind of gets stale and the algorithm stops showing it to people unless it's a very rare item. It's just going to eventually get weeded out and not be shown to almost anybody. So the idea is that, okay, delist an item, then relist it, and you will get a boost again in the traffic. More people will see it. It'll be like a new item again, and you might get more sales. And it does work in most cases. But the platforms hate this because what it does is it creates a site that's not reliable, where there's items on there and then they're gone. So maybe somebody's thinking about buying it, and a week later it's gone. So they got to search again. Maybe somebody has watched an item, they want to think about buying it. They're going to come back and buy it next week. And then it's gone because somebody just removed it because they delisted and relisted it. But if you actually look at the policy update, it doesn't say you can't delist an item. It doesn't say you can't relist them. It doesn't say if you have items for sale on multiple platforms because you're cross-listing and one of them sells another platform, you can't delist it from Poshmark. It doesn't say anything like that. That's not what people are getting suspended for. They're getting suspended for using a way that they used to be able to do to manipulate the system and try to get more sales. And it's understandable, but they put this policy in effect. They told everybody about it, and people didn't listen. They keep doing what they're doing, and they're getting suspended for it. Now, I don't want anyone to get suspended, but let's not pretend like we don't know. They told everybody about it. You knew that as of yesterday, it was going into effect May 1st, and you didn't do anything about it. Or you kept doing the thing you knew was against the terms, hoping you just skate by. That's not a way to run your business. It's not a way to run your business like a professional. So let me read the policy update to you. It's very short. It's a page long, and it's very clear. There's no confusion like, well, I don't know what I can do. It's very clear. It says this: last week, we announced a new excessive listing removal policy. We have heard and sincerely appreciate your feedback on this policy. Ahead of the May 1st policy launch, we want to provide clear guidance on what's allowed and confirm that thoughtfully refreshing your closet is still encouraged. What you can do, this is very plain, my friend, so listen up. Refresh listings that haven't sold for 60 days. Refresh listings just means delisting and relisting an item. That's Poshmark verbiage for doing that task. So refresh listings that haven't sold for 60 plus days. You're welcome to refresh older listings to keep your closet vibrant and up to date. This policy is about how often you revisit your listings, not how you do it. That's very important. They're not saying you can't delist an item and relist it. They're just saying give the item some time to get in the search engines, to get kind of established on the site and get in their algorithm. Give it at least 60 days. That's what they're saying. They're not saying you can't end a listing before 60 days. They're just saying you can't end it and relist it before 60 days. It goes on. Improve your refreshed listings. It goes on. Improve your refreshed listings. Add new photos, update titles and descriptions, or use Smart List AI to enhance your listings. You can keep doing that. You can also Use in-app features to reach shoppers. Price drop and offers to likers are great ways to boost visibility. You can remove listings when no longer available. If your item sells elsewhere or is out of stock, you can delete it from Poshmark. That's important because people are panicking saying, well, I just got to put all my items when they sell, I got to mark them as not available. Well, that's against the terms too. You can't just do that. They're not saying you can't end an item. They're just saying you can't clog up their site with a bunch of ended and relisted items over and over again, because some people were doing this really excessively. There are people talking about they got suspended and they were relisting their entire closets every single day, delisting and relisting them. That's ridiculous. And you can see how a site wouldn't want that, because you can't even get it start rolling out to all the shoppers to see before it's removed and relisted again. And people that maybe aren't quick to buy something and they did like it and they're thinking about buying it and they come back to it and it's gone. That's not a good experience for the customer. It goes on. You can continue using copy listing feature. Copy listing can be used to create similar listings anytime or to refresh existing listings after 60 days. That's the vital point you must understand. It's after 60 days. You can delist and relist to your heart's content if an item's been up for 60 days or more. They go on. What we're discouraging: excessive deletion and relisting of the same items, removal and relisting in fewer than 60 days. They go on about what they're discouraging: behavior that circumvents fair discovery, any action intended to gain unfair search or marketing advantages. As the marketplace evolves, so do our policies. Refreshing your listings remains an important part of a successful selling strategy. Our goal is to ensure it's done in a way that benefits the entire community. Together, we can keep Poshmark fresh, fair, and full of authentic discovery. Thank you for being a part of the community and working with us to make Poshmark even better. Please continue to share your feedback with us here. Now, you can share your feedback with them, but it's not going to change anything. And all you need to do is just read. I read today a whole group of people panicking, talking about they're leaving Poshmark now. Why? Because they can't refresh their listings every day or every other day or whatever they were doing to try to game the system. And it's insanity. Listen, you're running a professional business here. How do you even have time to constantly be delisting and relisting stuff? Why don't you just get more listings up, more good quality listings? Stop putting garbage up that nobody wants and it doesn't sell. And you got to keep trying to trick the system to hope maybe somebody will stumble across it and buy it. I know people don't like when things change on platforms and the marketplace says you can't do this or you can do this only after a certain amount of time or whatever. It is their site. You got to fall in line with what they say to do on their site. If you don't like it, create your own platform. It's not going to go well for you though. You probably do not have the funds to create your own platform, to get the sellers there, to get the buyers there, to get anyone there. These platforms offer us a great opportunity to give our goods into the market and to get captive audiences of people looking for items that we're selling. This policy is very clear. I do not understand in any way how people are getting so panicked and how they're talking about how they can't delist items if they get a sale on another platform. And it literally says the opposite. So I know they didn't read it. Now, you may say, well, I don't even sell on Poshmark. This doesn't matter to me. No, it absolutely does matter to you, because if you listen to all these people, there's resellers all over the place who know nothing. And they get in fear and they start panicking. And most people who are prone to fear anyway don't have a lot of information. They're generally ignorant, sometimes extremely ignorant to the point of stupidity. And they'll get you all worked up and all panicking over something that doesn't even affect you at all. And in many cases, what they're actually panicked about is a lie. It's not even what's going on. I can't tell you how many people were saying that they couldn't cross-list on Poshmark anymore because if an item's sold and it gets delisted, they're going to get banned. It says the opposite. All it's about is excessive delisting an item and relisting it. It's excessive listing removal policy. That's all. It's nothing to panic about. It may make you have to change your strategy. If your strategy has been, I'll just bulk delist and relist my items over and over again, and that's how I'm going to get sales. Maybe you need to change your strategy a little bit. Maybe you need to change your strategy to a more beneficial for you strategy where you're not wasting all this time on trying to trick the system. Instead, you want to get your item before more buyers. Get better quality items and get them listed quickly. If you have a death pile over the corner and here you are panicking about not being able to delist and relist items, maybe start getting those quality items from your death pile listed. Start doing the things that are going to make you success. Start doing the things that will give you the right sales and give you a benefit and boost in sales because you got more quality items that people want. It's highly desirable and they buy your items. And listen, I'm not against trying to use the system in whatever way you can to get ahead and do the best you can, whatever is within their terms. They've changed their terms. Their policy is different now, so you can't do it. You can go and whine and cry, and there's people on there that were on social media whining and crying about it for hours that they could have invested in, one, spending the few minutes reading the actual policy to know what they're talking about, instead of talking about how they can't sell on Poshmark anymore because they're going to get suspended for delisting an item. And not only could they have read and realized, oh, these people are panicking over nothing, these people are lying about what they say is going to happen, and they could have listed more quality items and get more sales coming in. And all that time they're wasting whining about something that's not even what the policy was. And that's how it applies to everybody on any kind of platform. There are people all over the place who know nothing, and they're babbling and they're yelling at the wind. And if you'll listen to them, you'll get carried off in their delusion, carried off in their whining, complaining, and doing all the useless stuff that does not bring you the sales you want, does not bring you the profit you want. You got to cut those people out. That's why I make these videos, these Reseller Friday videos, to bless you, because there's so much misinformation out there, and there's so much information that keeps you in fear and keeps you from being the greatest success you could possibly be. And you can do great. You should be doing 6 figures a year minimum in your reselling business. You should maybe be doing 7 figures a year, depending on what your goals are. You can do very well in this business, and you don't have to work 100 hours a week, but you are going to have to put in some work and work diligently and work intelligently, and you'll become a great success, my friend. Cast off the nonsense, cast off the panic, the doom and gloomers. Get to business listing good, high quality items and watch as your sales increase. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.